Thank you for joining us on this edition of the show. On today's Tech Tips, we look at ways to avoid becoming addicted to games. Our mobile app of the week makes it easy for you to book a ride. Also, keep an eye for our online security segment. This is Tech Trends, and I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.
VR, 4K and Nintendo Switch are among the hot topics as gaming convention E3 gets underway, allowing the public to explore the convention for the very first time this year. Until now, the annual event has been exclusively for industry and the media. However, this year sees thousands of gamers joining the professionals on the floor to get a sneak peek at upcoming releases and even getting to experience many of them for themselves.
So this is the first year where it's opened the doors to the public. So there's, like I say, 60,000 people. The queues are long. People are queuing for 5 hours to play a game. They're really, I'd say they're pretty hardcore. They're ultra fans. They know what they want. They want to see things. They want to participate. They want to be around these people. They want to talk about what they're excited about.
As usual, most of the major players in the industry have been represented with major announcements, having already come from Sony and Nintendo, who are riding high on the success of their last console, the Nintendo Switch. Their last piece of hardware, the Wii U, wasn't a hit, but demand for the new console is currently outweighing expectations.
Because there's only certain things that you can get, on each kingdom. So that's how you can. You guys have any other passports?
One thing, Zelda came out with it, and that's a franchise that's 20 odd years old. It's a huge game, it has massive appeal, and it's very good, and I think that's really carried it through. But also they changed the name. They haven't gone down the whole idea of a Wii and then the Wii U followed. I think that confused people, and it's just a really interesting console that you can play on the go. I played it on the plane on the way out, and it's just a totally different experience having that proper gaming whilst you can be anywhere.
While fans are excited about new additions to popular franchises such as Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, and fresh entries in the Mario Bros. Series, high-definition 4K gaming and VR, previously favored by the more hardcore gamers, are also becoming even more mainstream, partly thanks to costs coming down and the increased availability of content.
PC gamers have they've been playing in Super HD before, but console gamers haven't really. They've always had the story, and while PlayStation are still saying it's all about the games, they are showing it in PS4 Pro. Destiny coming out later this year, also on PS4 Pro. People want that extra bit of oomph. When Microsoft debuted Assassin's Creed Origins, they brought it out. They put it out at the Microsoft conference running on the Xbox One X. They're saying very specifically that that's what it's on. So it's exciting for people that maybe haven't thought about 4K TV, haven't thought about 4K experience, but maybe Christmas this year is going to be their big investment.
So 4K, last year Sony had the PlayStation 4 Pro, which can handle a high resolution, and Microsoft has now basically answered that with the Xbox One X, which is, people want to play in high resolution. It just gives that greater fidelity, visuals are just more stunning, and that's a really important thing for games. VR, it's been an interesting year for that because Xbox didn't talk about it at all, whereas Sony during their conference had a little section, some big games, some smaller ones, and it's still in that phase of will it or won't it take off.
GOM opens China's first virtual reality cinema in Beijing, following the success of the world's first in Amsterdam, launched last year. VR Cinema delivers moviegoers a fully immersive and multi-dimensional film experience, much more realistic than ordinary ones. It features premium VR headset technology to enable users to see, hear, smell, and feel all 360 degrees. Meanwhile, VR film enables a more interactive storytelling by giving audiences autonomy which they can choose when and where to look at, can choose any role in the films to play, and can even make a difference to the storytelling and movie ending. Your body will cool down if you go somewhere cold, and you will get hot immediately if you go to a beach, or there could be a wind and mist. The environment will change completely based on what you play with. The high costs of VR's professional equipment and the requirement for high technologies have been keeping average households out. While now, everyone can have an experience simply with a ticket. One piece of equipment costs around 40,000 yuan. What we're trying to deliver the customers is a real professional VR, to make customers truly understand what new tech is. For most traditional cinemas, box office is usually the single source of income. But this new type of cinema is reinvigorating the traditional film industry by bringing up a new multidimensional business model. According to estimates by PricewaterhouseCoopers, virtual reality, or VR, will be growing at a compound annual rate of 130% in the next 5 years in China. Meanwhile, the number of VR headset displays will reach 85.9 million. Two artificial intelligence robots sat China's hardest math entrance exam, commonly known as Gaokao, in Beijing and Chengdu. Like their human peers, the robots were asked to complete a 150-point math test in 2 hours in a room without internet access. ADAM and AMAT scored 134 and 105 and finished the test within a much shorter time compared to their average students. According to researchers, which are the developer of AMATS, it had been put through 500 versions of the math test prior to this one. However, researchers say the robot's understanding of natural language remained one of its weak points. Chen Ruifeng, a chief scientist at technology company Master Learner, which is the developer of ADAM, said even though the scores the robots achieved were not of the highest standard, the experiment marks a core part in their AI development program. China's Ministry of Science and Technology has now announced a plan to develop Gaokao robots. Under this plan, by the year 2020, AI or artificial intelligence robots will be smart enough to gain admission to leading universities through the entrance exam.